Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. So I don't know what goes on with YouTube, I got a couple of messages that refuse to appear on the videos that they're commenting on. And I'm really getting tired of having to read them out to you. But it keeps happening, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm deleting them or anything like that, because I try not to. Only if they're totally unrelated to what the topic is will I delete them. It's only happened a couple times. Anyway, first let me say I don't script this stuff. I don't have all the high-tech stuff. My wife says the volume's not good again, and I don't know what's going on there. I thought I had the problem solved, but it seems it's hard to hear. You got to turn everything way up, and on YouTube, I hate when you have to turn things way up, because you forget you turned it up, then you go in the next video, and then it blows you against the wall. It makes your subwoofer cones pop. So maybe I might spring for a microphone if I'm going to continue to do this. I don't really want to be a YouTube user, but well, it's kind of fun, and I enjoy looking forward to the feedback, good or bad. So a couple of pinephone updates. First of all, the cats are playing soccer, and they're caught on the cords behind my TV. Anyway, the pinephone is doing its usual things. Some interesting things happened today. Didn't get a couple of text messages today. Luckily, with Motor Manager, I could see that, and plus somebody called me. Did you get my text? No, I didn't. I suspect it's a theory now, because I think when there's a picture attachment, they fail. I don't know if anyone else has run into that, but I don't know who the second text message was. The first one said she was sending me a screenshot of her computer, which had the browser hijacked and was telling her to call Microsoft right away and not to do anything. And so I had to go rescue them. Anyway, it was a 5-minute service call. Very easy to circumvent those. So anyway, and then and the other thing I noticed. What else did I notice? I've forgotten. Holy shit! Pardon me. Let me stop for a minute. Okay, now I remember. And that same person with the text that I didn't get also left me a voicemail, but the phone didn't tell me until I rebooted it. So that's kind of late. So I can't just be rebooting the phone every half hour to see if I have messages. There's something, it's either a picture attachment or a message, and thirdly, my wife tried calling me earlier this evening, and I was on the phone, and it wouldn't go to voicemail for it. It would just stop ringing. It said it would just end. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I've never experienced that kind of behavior with my Samsung. And lo and behold, update still failed to download. Some unknown error. And yeah, that just to bring you up on that. So anyway, I'm going to read these two comments, and we'll talk about them for a bit, because they're pretty good. First one, our good friend D. Johnson. He seems to be a half decent Kool-Aid drinker, if there is such a thing. If you want to try out Linux computer that works, get an NVIDIA Jetson Nano. I recommend the cheaper one, $59 US, because it includes Wi-Fi. It also runs a custom Ubuntu version. It will allow you to mess around with Linux on a platform that works at your own convenience without spending a lot of money. It's a better experience than virtualization. Okay, so we've kind of the scope of the channel has kind of broadened a bit, because I'm starting to point out other Linux shortcomings, and it's not pinephone exclusive anymore. So now I'm getting comments that are broadening out as well. So I just want to be clear on something. I don't want to try Linux. I've tried it before. it's great until you need applications because you can't get them, and it just I just there's some things that can't, there's no remote desktop. I'm not using buggy security problem VNC software and those third party apps. I need things to work functionally, and I just don't think Linux can cut it. I almost called it Linus. If anybody wants to show me differently, power to you. But I've spun up a couple ones, and D Johnson, virtualization and real hardware, they're identical. I've done it since 2009, and whether it's physical or virtual, the operating system, it works just the same. So the only thing I would say is that peripherals can be an issue with virtualization because they're not always supported. But other than that, they're identical. So a real box is no different from a virtual box as far as test driving an operating system goes. So yeah, so I don't want to buy no little gadgets, and if I can't spin it up in a virtual machine, I'm not interested. I already have a lot of money invested in a fully licensed system where I can run as many as I need. So I just don't want to do that. But thanks for suggesting it, and yeah, you guys work on building those machines, and I'll work on getting a Linux powered smartphone. So, Thack, again, another well typed long comment. We're gonna roll my sleeves up for this one. This is the last video we reviewed about people reviewing, and that were unexpected was the title. And so it was my last video. So I looked again tonight when I got home from work, and they're not there. They're not in the video. So that's why I'm going to read it. So anyway, let's do this. Sorry for making this so long, and it's fairly long. But here's what I was thinking while watching your video. So he's watching the video about reviewing user comments, and that were unexpected. Okay. Only pizza-loving nerd makes those videos that show how great they are, and actually works with Pine 64. Now, if you look at my videos, the archive, I'm pretty sure I pointed out many people who were talking about how great it was. It's not just PLN. And he claims he doesn't work for Pine 64. I don't believe him, and I think you're right. He does. He's just, no company is going to let some guy do their promo videos if he doesn't work for them. That's what I think. Anyway, the others aren't working with Pine. Their use case is their use case is as a toy. I'm not sure about this use case. I'm not familiar with this phrase. I've seen it a few times now. Not sure if I understand what it means or not. I think I do. It's modus operandi or something like that. So anyway, the use case is as a toy, and it works great at that. Wow. Okay. Now, as for us hobbyists not succeeding, we do eventually in making a good product. Well, I think I said this somewhere else. Show me one that where nobody's getting paid and everyone's volunteer, and so show me something that came to market. I don't think there is such a thing. You prove me otherwise. Because we develop for fun, not for profit. That's what gives us an advantage. I disagree. I think you're at a disadvantage. It's just like, when I come home from work, the last thing I want to do is sit down and do a couple hours of YouTube videos, and then post them and all that crap, and then read the comments. No one's paying me for this, and it is very low priority. My wife says to me, why don't you do it in the morning when you're not half asleep? Well, because I got paying customers to do stuff for. The free stuff, I push it at the end of my day, and so you get me when I'm not very lively. And hang on, I think the cat wants out. Sorry about that. Okay, so I lost my train of thought here, but oh yes, it talks about an advantage. I need you to point that out for me. What's the advantage? Because I'm not seeing it. And just like I gave you an example, if someone was paying me to do these YouTube videos, I buy all this equipment and then I do it in the morning when I was fresh. I put a suit on or a tie and do it right. But sorry, pal, for free. This is what you get. So so yeah. So we'll see what you come up with there. I don't believe it. But we need a community Linux Mobile doesn't have a big one. Yeah, I agree. It's pretty small, and I knew it was small to begin with, but anyway, remember, Pine64 said they were going to make a market. And well, they better get cracking on it. So far it's not going so well. A few years ago there was no work done. I mean, bad customer support by hostility. Don't worry about the hardware. Pine64 will make a new phone when the hardware needs to be updated. Well, yeah, but they're going to want me to give them more money for it, and I'm not going to do that. I didn't, I mean, the whole thing, let's face it, this phone was not meant for me or anyone else who just wants to replace their phone. It was meant for somebody who's what you're talking about, and they never should have included this in this, and it was a big mistake to do it, and they need to correct that mistake. Pine64 will make a new phone when the hardware needs to be updated. EX of open source. Not sure what that means. EX, capital EX. Google MS actually likes doing some open source stuff. I'm not familiar with what they do. I'm sure everybody dabbles in it. It's just like didn't Microsoft buy GitHub a while ago? That worries me. Whenever Microsoft buys something, they fucking ruin it. So watch out, GitHub. You're going to be doomed soon. They'll eventually shut the thing down and merge you all into the company, into the great giant machine, and Linux will just fade away. I'm sure that's their evil plan, is to eliminate the whole operating system and just absorb all the people who are aficionados and make them use Windows. Mark my words, I'm sure that's what's going on. I'm not talking about the success of Pine64. I'm talking about the success of the software. Well, it seems pretty buggy to me. I don't think there's any success. It's I hate repeating myself. Just watch my other videos. You know how I feel about it. The software is not very good. And I'm no one's going to pay me to recode it, and so I'm not going to do it. I'd rather pay another $100 for the phone and get a real operating system that works properly. So anyway, success of the software. That can be installed on any Android, assuming you have drivers. Drivers are up to the manufacturer. Pine64 might fail, but the software around it won't. Well, I'm sure Pine64 might fail because their methodology of selling their product is suspect. That's for sure. And he says, and Linux is big. It actually powers many servers. Yeah. But they didn't pay for anything. They're using free servers. That's why they're popular in servers, because there's a thing called IT budgets. I've always done full Windows Server shops, and the cost is astronomical, and only the cheapskates and the startups use Linux stuff. because that's what they can afford, not because it's better. Many companies use it internally. I've never seen any. It's always web server stuff like that. I mean, Linux doesn't do domain controllers, stuff like that. They don't have that login capabilities that Windows does. Not that I know of, anyway. Maybe somebody correct me if I'm wrong there. I've never seen it, and a lot of places like that. You don't want to add users to every machine in the place when you add new users or remove them. You want to put it into one directory and have that spread across your entire domain. Anyway, I think Linux servers are basically web servers and mail servers. Maybe not. Somebody pipe up if they think I'm wrong there, because I don't follow it lately. Maybe my thoughts are from the past. Maybe things have changed, but I look at the statistics, and in 20 years nothing's changed. Windows dominates desktop. Linux has got 50% of the servers, and Linux is still giving stuff away for free, and that's why they have 50%. The power of Linux is that it can be modified to fit your needs. Companies actually like that, and they help with development too. Open source powers a lot of things. Oh, EX example, that's what that means. I think it should be EG, but anyway, I think you're using Google Chrome. It's based on Google's Chromium, open source. So is Edge. Now, as for the enthusiasts, we actually get more work done than paid employees, at least those with deadlines. I have some experience with that. Why? Because we want to work. Sure, we don't always work on what needs to get done. Yeah, you do what you want until we need to get it done. But we're always working on something. Just to comment here, I haven't used Google Chrome for a while though. It's spyware. I've switched all my clients away from it, and I've never used Edge. Never want to use Edge. I was using Firefox for a while, but I think it's becoming a Chrome lookalike. So I'm gonna have people ditch it. Right now, my favorite browser is a Brave-based browser, and I think that's what most people should go with, and get away from the spyware browsers. So anyway, so I'm starting to feel really lazy. So I don't know if it's long, and I've been summarizing some of it as well. So he's talking about getting stuff done, but the thing I find with Linux servers, and especially if you want it customized, well, you can customize it yourself, but when it breaks and somebody has to figure out what's wrong with it and what to fix it with, who do you call when you did it yourself? Well, you call yourself. So you got to be prepared for that, and a lot of people that scares a lot of people away, including myself. I want someone who's going to stand behind the product, and no matter what goes wrong with it, they have the answer to get it going again, because that's what people expect from me when I build them a system, and it doesn't work right. I have to know what's wrong with it and be able to correct it, and that's why I won't use open source, because there's nobody to call it. If you can't figure it out, you're toast. There's nobody to call, and you can't say, well, it'll take me a few weeks to recode this and try that. No, sorry, it doesn't work that way. It's got to be up and running tomorrow, not a few weeks from now. If you feel like doing it, right? I'm going to pause this and just read through the rest. Okay, yeah, it's really long. Thanks for putting all this effort into it, by the way, too. I appreciate that. So I'm going to summarize for it. So he talks about how some of the basic things work fine, and I agree with you. Email works fine, web browsing, all that stuff. It compares, no doubt about it. And then he talks about where Windows 10 is going, and I guess that's really why I'm here today, is because Windows has been a monopoly far too long, and now they're abusing us because they know they have us. And I'm looking, I'm looking for an escape lane for sure. But your product isn't ready to replace anything that I'm doing. Not totally, parts of it, but businesses can't tolerate parts of things. It's gotta all work well. It's got to be smooth. New employees have to be able to pick up quickly on how it works. Old employees have to, I don't know what they have to do. They have to shut up and let the young people figure it out. You always need a couple of young people in every staff member, because those are the ones who take the new different products and help everybody else get to know them. Because when you get older, you don't want to change. I don't want to move out of Windows. But I don't like what's going on, and I don't want to move away from Android and Samsung. But I don't like what's going on. I do like traveling around with my pinephone and knowing that it's not reporting to Google everywhere I've been today. I really love that. Anyway, sorry I petered out on reading all of your comment. As I told you, you're not paying me for it, so this is all I feel like doing today. Anything else? Let me stop and think for a minute. Yeah, okay. I'm tired, so I'm gonna bail. So I'm gonna monitor the video, and if these comments don't get posted on the video they were assigned to, I will copy and paste them in there myself if I have to, and because it's worthy reading if you want to go through it. I kind of covered the highlights of it, so you got an idea. So check back in a few days, and it may be there, or I may put it there. Okay, thanks for listening, everyone. Take care.